Today, the world sees Iran and Israel as mortal enemies locked in a cycle of sabotage, missile strikes, and proxy warfare. But here's what most people don't know once. These two nations were quiet allies sharing intelligence, oil, and even military secrets. So how did it all fall apart in this episode? We go back to the roots before nuclear threats, before Hezbollah, before sanctions to uncover the true story of how Iran and Israel became sworn enemies. The story begins in the 1950s. Iran, under the rule of Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, was a secular monarchy aligned with the West, and Israel, just a few years into statehood, was looking for regional allies in a sea of hostility. Surprisingly, it found one in Iran. Though Iran is a majority Muslim country, it never fought in the Arab-Israeli wars. In fact, the Shah believed that supporting Israel discreetly could counterbalance the growing influence of pan-Arab nationalism, especially from Egypt and Syria. What followed was a secret but strong relationship. Israel helped Iran train its feared secret police, SOVIC, and sold advanced weapon systems. In return, Iran became one of Israel's most reliable oil suppliers through shadowy deals and backdoor diplomacy to the public. The two nations had no official ties, but behind the scenes they shared intelligence, coordinated regional policy, and even built economic ties. It was a cold alliance, but in 1979, Shah was overthrown in a massive populist uprising, and in his place rose Ayatollah Khomeini. The leader of the Islamic Revolution. Khomeini's vision was radically different. Iran would now be a theocratic state founded on Islamic law, and staunch opposition to what he called Western imperialism quickly cut ties with both the US and Israel, referring to the former as the Great Satan and the latter as the Little Satan. The new Islamic Republic viewed Israel not just as a political adversary, but as an illegitimate entity, a Zionist occupier of Muslim land. Zionist overnight, Iran transformed from a quiet friend to a loud and ideological enemy of Israel. And this wasn't just talk. Iran began funding and supporting militant groups committed to Israel's destruction. In the early 1980s, Iran helped create Hezbollah, a Shiite militia in Lebanon. Their goal: drive Israel out of Lebanon and ultimately out of existence for Israel. This marked a new phase. The battlefield was no longer direct wars, it became a war in the shadows as Iran poured weapons, training, and money into Hezbollah and later into Palestinian Islamic Jihad and Hamas. Israel responded with targeted airstrikes, assassinations, and covert ops from Lebanon to Gaza, Syria to Sudan. Both countries played a high-stakes game of chess through proxies. Each strike, each assassination, each explosion another step deeper into a quiet war that neither side officially declared. But both knew they were fighting us. But things got even more serious in the early 2000s, when Iran's nuclear ambitions came to light. Though Iran insisted it was building a peaceful energy program, Israel and much of the world believed otherwise. Israel saw the possibility of a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat. The Israeli government warned the international community and began taking matters into its own hands. Covert Mossad missions targeted nuclear scientists inside Iran. Cyber attacks like the Stuxnet worm mysteriously crippled Iran's centrifuge and in turn hardened its nuclear facilities, expanded its regional influence, and deepened its ties to militant groups across the Middle East. So here we are today in Part 2. We'll explore how Iran built a vast web of militant allies across the region, what's now called the Axis of Resistance, and how Israel has tried to contain it one strike at a time. This isn't just history, it's the battlefield of today. And maybe tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this explosive series.